Judd Toffer, and today I get to speak with one of the absolute funniest people I've ever met in my whole life. The stop it, my face hurts type of funny. Mary Fisk-Taylor, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Here. I am really excited to hang out with you. You're one of my favorite funny people ever.
We just sat down and we just started. I just hit record because I thought I just want whatever we say. I just want it to be documented forever.
Well, if we're saying it, it's going to be awesome. So we know that. I mean, come on. We're our biggest fans.
we are our biggest fans. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right, let's do it.
For our gaggle of listeners.
All right, well, yeah, Mary Fisk-Taylor. I'm from Virginia. Mm-hmm. I've been a photography studio owner there for a really long time.
143 years.
It's like the woman in the beginning of the Titanic, 875 years ago, whatever. Having our 24th year. This year, 24 years in business. We actually own 2 studios. Mm-hmm. We have a high volume senior studio that's a newer studio, but our portrait studio, Hayes and Fisk, which my business partner, James Hayes, you may know him.
I do.
Yeah, so that's awesome. But I, most importantly, am the awesome, proudest mom in the world of 2 fantastic kids that are both in college. So my husband, Daryl, and I are empty nesters, which is incredibly sad, but
I was waiting to see.
I could start crying right now just talking about it.
I know it because it's so funny because you never know where someone's going to go with that. And I honestly,
which is the best thing that ever happened to me. They know it's the worst.
That happens so much. Honestly,
I know.
Like one of my best friends, he's like, I got 3 years left.
Just doing my time.
And then my youngest is 18 and I'm out.
Wow.
And he feels so good about it. You know?
I know parents like that.
Right. But I knew you weren't like that.
No. Cried the entire school with both of them. Still cry.
Well, I saw all the posts. I saw the pictures.
I'm the worst. The Stevie Nicks song. What is it? Stevie Nicks with that song about oh shoot, which one is it, Jed?
Well, there's Landslide in Silver Springs. You have to be talking about one of those.
It's the one that anyway.
When she starts off the song by saying, "This is for you, Daddy."
Yes.
That's it. Weeping.
Ugly cry.
The
whole way. And my kid's like, if we have to listen to that song one more time, or we'll drive along and I'll go. I'll cry, and my husband's like, "What in the heck is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "This is Jax's favorite song when he was 12."
Somebody told me he's here.
Both of them are here.
They are both here.
They're both here because they go to University of Tennessee. They're volunteers.
I knew that, but I didn't know they were here.
Oh yeah. Which brings me back. So like Christmas break, they come home for a nice little break. It was amazing. We did this huge family experience this year. We did an experience instead of gifts. We all went to we went on a big cruise. Went to Cuba, which was amazing.
Yes.
But they left. They left like on Tuesday, and I was gonna see them on Friday. Cried like a baby.
Tuesday, you're a mess.
Couldn't even get out of bed. My husband's like, "You're going to see him in 48 hours. Maybe my husband's that other kind of parent. Now that I think about it, poor Daryl.
That's a good balance.
God bless.
You know what? That warms my heart because it's so real.
It is so real. And it's so, but they're so cool. Like my kids are so cool. That's like, I can't believe they're mine. They're the coolest people in the world.
It's awesome. So it was a White House person that told me that Jax is here.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that your daughter is here too.
Yes, that's okay.
But she said he is so funny, like really sharp,
and appropriately
a really fantastic wit. And I was like, how could he not be? He doesn't have a choice in that matter.
But just funny because Jed, he says he gets his humor from his dad.
But that's him being funny.
I hope so. I'm like, I'm actually the funny one.
Seriously?
And he goes, "No, I get my social skills from you." And I'm like, I have no social skills. I actually am the funny one. So yeah, they're here. It's a big imaging for us because my business partner's getting his ASP fellowship and he's getting the director's award. I'm so proud of him. And then I'm getting my ASP education fellow.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of education. Yeah.
This is a big deal for you.
It's a big one. It's a
That's
big one.
great.
And the kiddos. And my mom's here too, Jed.
Your mom
the
is
whole
here
fam,
too?
And my
I
sister.
haven't seen your
whole
mom
fam. Yeah, they're all
I'll
here.
have to give her a hug when I see
God
her.
bless. It's like I have a whole entourage.
I got this. I feel as though I have a little bit of my OCDs coming out
Okay.
here
Mm-hmm.
because I wash my hands like 30 times a day.
Well, it's the gate lord.
I know, and I'm just doing a fist bump with people. But then I ruin all of it when I see someone and I just give them a big hug.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm probably going to die tonight.
I might as well
now.
stick my fingers in my eyes now.
It's gonna be,
Just use somebody else's toothbrush
I'm
at that
gonna
point.
get a horrendous. I'm getting a horrendous strain of the flu.
Rash.
There's no way I'm going to avoid it.
I know. But I'm addicted to the medicine ball tea at Starbucks. So if you start feeling yourself coming down with something,
you know what?
order that. They make it here, but you have to give them a little help.
What?
But they do make it
You
here.
have to give them help.
Because it's not, it's one of those like faux Starbucks,
Oh, it's not. Oh, yeah, it's not a real
but they can make it.
one. Okay, they have
'Cause
what
I've-
they need.
And yeah, every time they see me, they run because they're like, "There's that lady's going on damn tea again." But it's really good stuff. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I brought. Well, I'm like on the Zycam just in
Yep.
case. I got this. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's in packets from
Yeah.
my wife.
Yeah.
She set me all up.
I'm sure
She's
she
like, you
did.
can't get sick. You have to take all of this.
Yes, good. Well, wishing you well.
So I'm being proactive for
I
the
like it.
for the record.
Good. For the record.
You wanted to talk about the importance of printing, which I think
I do.
is important.
It is important. And, I'm a big advocate of this industry. And I practice what I preach, like,
Right.
100%. And I have no problem with photographers in this industry or creatives that want to address the issue or, sell files or digitals or whatever. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I think that if you're being compensated properly for it, it's a great thing. But
Did you used to?
sell files?
Well, no.
No.
Did you used to have a problem with it?
I probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
Because I did.
I think I did. And I think I got over myself.
Exactly.
I mean, because we get so
Precisely. And that's really what it is. You said it just right. It's not that we got over it. We got over us.
Well, this is what's happening. We have this gap, right? We have this gap between the photographer
Yeah.
and the consumer, and we don't address that gap.
Hmm.
And if you want to stand on your laurels and I look at me, I don't give away, I don't sell files, or I don't do this.
Right.
Bully for you. That's fantastic.
Yes.
And that's great. And if your business model works like that, that's fine. But if I find myself answering emails or messages or the telephone and people are asking that question and I'm
Yeah.
constantly saying, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not addressing that gap.
The gap,
Right.
yep.
And
Yeah.
if we don't address the gap, then I'm not going to be in business.
The gap doesn't get smaller.
No.
Right.
For sure. So, but I don't have a problem with it. I want to start off with that. And a lot of people are like, what? I'm like, no, I like living in a home and driving a car and I need to make money. This isn't a hobby.
Right.
I got
right.
kids in college, remember? So I do address that, but it has to come with the print.
Mhm.
That is how I address it. So I'm not personally, don't personally have a business model that only sells files or,
Right.
like a, shoot and burn type of philosophy.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of printing and giving them something that's actually going to, adorn their homes and hang in their homes and be in their homes and be in their lives and not just live on a screen.
Right.
But I do think printing is important. And I think that we're, as an industry, afraid of it. There's a lot of newer people, I think, that come in and they're afraid of it. And I've been, worked with enough photographers and talked to enough people or taught classes. And I hear this all the time. Well, how do you do that? Like,
Right.
and I'm like, what? But I have to put myself in their place. I am so old and have done this so long. We were film, right? So there was nobody was hitting me up for the negatives. You know
So
what I'm
isn't
saying?
there's an advantage there, right?
Well, I think there is because I don't know any different.
Right.
All I know to do when I came to this industry was to network with clients, consult and meet with clients, photograph clients, sell to clients.
Mhm.
That's all I needed. That's all I could do. The lab had to retouch my negatives. The lab had to do. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Right.
Well, when we went digital, we didn't change a thing.
Right.
So I still outsource all that. I mean, just
Right.
because you can doesn't mean you have to, right?
Sure.
Just because you can. So I just adopted that because I realized really quickly that it's not my job to print or retouch or do it. I'm not good at it. I actually stink at it. So, but our industry's different now, and I get that a lot of people have come in a very different place. But you know, I think a lot of people are afraid of printing for some reason.
But just imagine if somebody, like, let's say hypothetically back in the day, all of a sudden your clients were like, well, I want my negatives.
Yeah.
That wasn't even, like you said earlier, like that wasn't even on the table.
No. I mean, what were you going to do with a 2 1/4 neck?
Right.
Like, what were you going to do with that negative? I don't think
Right.
people knew what to do with it, you know? But now it's different. So that's fine. You know, it certainly is a question we get, and it's a question that we chose to address to the positive. But I don't mind saying yes. Like, I'm a big fan. I think saying yes is a really great thing, and actually can be a very freeing thing. Like, it just depends on how you handle that.
Well, what's the verbiage that you use to funnel?
Yeah. So if we have that happen and they want to, you know, if that question is asked, now back up real quick. We personally, our brand, I don't think people know our brand enough in our little corner of the world that I don't get that question as much as maybe some.
Right.
Meaning everything we show is an installation and large portraits and oils and canvases and all that.
Right.
But my senior studio, our other studio, that's one of the first questions I'm going to get from a high school senior. And it's like, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So our basic collection is here. It includes an 8x10 portrait, fully finished, and you're going to get that gift size resolution of the file of the portrait, the image.
Gift size
resolution.
Ooh.
I made that up. Do you like it? You can have it. Gift size resolution of the image you purchased, of the portrait you purchased. Right. And that's how I handle it. And then there's, you know, so it's just, if you buy it, of course I'll give you that gift size resolution. For me, it's a big enough file that they can print another 8x10 if they want.
Right.
And quite frankly, if you don't want people to have access to the files, then don't. You know, somebody told me, I don't even remember who it was, years ago. I take no credit for it, but when I was on my high horse and my, you know, soapbox about the
right.
Were you visualizing me on a horse? Is that why you were giggling? I'm just kidding. And not just any horse, but like a high horse.
I am now a huge steed.
No, like literally high.
Now I see that. It's even better.
It's even better. Little Rasta horse. So anyway, just singing reggae. Anywho, back to the story. They said, well, you know, if you don't want them to have access to the file, don't print it, because everybody. This is like in the mid range, right? People have a scanner. They're just gonna scan it. So and I thought, well, crap.
Yes,
you're right.
Yep.
And I thought, well, you know what?
And they did.
And they definitely did.
Yes.
Remember how bunched up we did about that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I do remember.
They scanned that.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks about that now, but they scanned it. Kids are like, what's a scanner? Yeah. So we addressed that. And you know what? As long as it didn't affect my average sale, yeah, it is what it is. So
right.
That's how we handle it. But I do think printing is important. I think it's important for us as you know, to enjoy. I think it makes me smile. I mean, now that my kids are gone.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. It's true.
It brings me so much joy to look at those images, and my husband and I, every day you get to enjoy that.
You see it every day.
Yeah.
So you're on the other side of where you know your clients are going.
Exactly.
So when you speak, you can speak with absolute conviction.
100%. You know.
Right.
So I could, and our family, you know, my husband has lost both of his parents, you know, and to have that family portrait and have that in our home, so my kids can remember them. I mean, they're not, it's great that we can look at our phones and our screens and have that and share on social media, but it's just not the same thing. You know, it's our whole history, and you got to print. We just have to print. So I hope we don't lose that anymore. I hope we're coming back to it, because it's something I'm very much a believer in. So
before my grandmother passed away, one of my favorite people in my life, my wife, quote unquote, made her come in. Mm-hmm. And my grandma was flattered on one hand, and on the other hand, I think she was kind of nervous. Yeah. You know,
yeah,
like,
I get
going
it.
On?
Yeah.
And for like, it was like half hour, 45 minutes. And the image from that session is, I can't describe it. It's one of the best things
Priceless.
I have.
Yeah.
You
I know.
And I see it all the time, and every time I see it, I'm just thinking about this.
Yeah,
now.
it makes you smile.
Yeah.
And you can share it with your kids because your kids didn't have the relationship.
They don't know who she is,
Right.
except like to them,
know.
that's who she is.
And see,
Yeah. Yep.
it's just not the same. So yeah, printing is super important.
Yeah, it's hitting me right now.
Now,
how
and here it comes.
I didn't know this was going to be a ball fest. I didn't know.
Crybabies.
I don't have
What kind of
Kleenex anywhere.
podcast is this? Bunch of crybabies.
I'm glad it's not. I'm glad this isn't being videotaped.
No kidding. That's what I thought too. I was gonna check my teeth because I just ate, and I thought, nah, it's not video.
Nobody can hear that lettuce.
Oh yeah. So you're good.
We have to make ourselves laugh so we don't fall into this weep fest.
I know.
You know, I did think it was interesting though. I think I wrote this down, so I hope that this really happened. But you mentioned a print movement. What is this print movement that you speak of?
Yeah. So I'm super involved with PPA.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our objectives from the board and that staff, PPA staff's been so, instrumental in, and actually Mike Hanline, being on the board with him and with a lot of the industry people have come together, and it's the print movement. And,
right.
you see hashtag Prints Matter.
Yes. We
have the print programming and everything's right in the trade show here at Imaging. I got asked to do a video recently, and that's on the website, the print movement. But it's just all about teaching people, like, educating people, talking about the importance of it, talking about supporting all the, like I said, industry people coming together, labs, frame companies, album companies, whatever, to bring prints back. Like, remember how I brought Sexy back a couple years ago?
I do remember that.
Now I'm bringing prints back. Same. It's kind of the same, but not exactly the same. So, but it's a print movement, and if you look it up, but it's all there's a lot of information about it on the PPA website. If you go to PPA.com. Yeah.
I'm struck by that also in relation to our stories about our own family portraits, because I remember when my wife was trying to make that happen, that I was a little, I don't know, reluctant, or like, oh, really? We don't want to bother her, and we don't want to. And I think that was just my stuff, right? That
Yeah, it was.
because I didn't bother her.
Yeah.
And even if I bothered her a little bit, it's okay.
It is.
Because I wasn't trying to bother her.
Right.
That wasn't my MO.
Yeah.
Certainly wasn't my wife's MO. And so I feel as though, certainly in hindsight, that I feel it very confident and comfortable saying, do it anyway. Right?
Don't wait until.
Well, because then there is no.
Because one
It's
day
not
there
there
is
anymore.
No. Exactly. And that's the thing. And that's anything. And certainly we have, my grandmother, oh my gosh, no one will ever love me as much as my grandmother. Like, she was my number one fan. I don't care what I did. It was freaking sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns.
Same. We might have the same grandmother.
We're probably related.
Yeah.
But my gosh, and we didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't do it.
Yeah.
She was self-conscious, and it was that until. No, she just hated it, and we never made her, and we never did it. It's one of my I don't have a lot of regrets. But that's one.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot, but
right.
Gosh dang, what I wouldn't do
to have that
for that.
Yep.
And for my kids don't know her, and
yep.
We have little candid things here and there,
Yeah.
but what I wouldn't do. So my grandfather, that was one of the first things, like,
we
did. I have one of my grandfather, beautiful portraits of my grandfather, and they mean so much. But what I wouldn't do to go back and have that of my grandmother.
Well, and my grandfathers were both gone before we really got into the biz, and I think about that, and because really I don't have a lot of photos of either one of them anyway, and so I have what's in my mind.
Yeah.
And to have photos, just a really great, just one. I don't need 40.
No.
But just to have that one that really got them.
Yeah.
You know?
And our history, like our family history, I mean, and when it leaves with you.
Yeah.
Like, so it won't be there for your kids to share one day. And
right.
I mean, don't you remember, I don't know about you, but like being little and going to my grandmother's house, and she loved pictures and sitting and going through the albums and and she loved to frame an 8x10 more than anybody. Like she had the wall of 8x10s, every school picture, every, know, but it was just, I loved looking, and she would talk about her family and putting people out. And who does that anymore?
I know it.
I mean, look at this. Isn't you look on your phone, you
swipe,
swipe, you know.
Right. That's
then you
true.
accidentally get a date and it's awkward. I've never actually used Tinder, but every time I do that, I think, oh, dang it.
I feel terrible because
now I got to meet him at Starbucks.
I feel terrible because of course I'm never going to use Tinder.
I know.
But I hear people talking about it, and I think that just sounds so bizarre and crazy, and I want to just try it out to see what the experience is like. But I'm married, and that's not going to work out.
That's inappropriate.
Yes, that's our official stance. So don't do that.
I feel the same way, but I would never do it. But gosh, I kind of want to. I don't know why.
I do too, just because it's just different.
I don't know. I'm that person.
And I think, well, I'm not young anymore either.
Well, and then there's that. They would be hugely disappointed.
Oh, it would all be about catfishing for me. He looks an awful lot like Brad Pitt from 1997.
Yep. Is that your profile picture or a Photoshop document?
Oh man! See, we had to do that again just to
get
come
out of our
the emotion.
Yeah.
We use humor for levity just to make ourselves
Laughter
laugh.
makes you happy, though.
Yes.
It's either laugh or sing, and you definitely don't want us to sing. I don't think. Singing is not the answer.
No, not for us.
Not for us.
So let me ask you this then. Tell me, what do you say or do to encourage? Because we can talk about this stuff all day, and even speak from the heart about our own experiences. But what do you say and what do you do for especially new photographers or newer photographers to get them to really grasp this and to really jump into it?
Right. So I mentioned the gap, and I think that if you want to start closing that or narrowing that gap, whether you're a brand new photographer or you've been doing this for a while, you need to shift your business into this, this mindset. And I always say shift happens. And
yes,
it really does. Shift happens, and it needs to happen. So if you want to stand out and you want to be remarkable, we had an amazing opening speaker here, Ryan Estes, who talked about this.
I heard about
thing.
that.
Oh,
yeah.
So amazing. But if you want to be remarkable, which means someone's going to remark or talk about you, you've got to stand out. So today versus when I started out in this industry and for so many years, if you actually are a print master, if you're a storyteller, if you're a visual historian, if you are offering these prints and that's your business model, and that files, that's just that sidecar, that's that add-on. Yeah, of course, right. But if that's how you market yourself and promote your business, and if that's how your products are set up and your pricing and everything, you're going to stand out. You're going to be remarkable.
Right.
People are going to talk about you. So that's going to start closing that gap. So I would say shift your business, your mindset, whatever it is, and make it about the print, and that file becomes secondary. Talk about the print. And here's another idea. If you're going to have a website or blog, social media, don't just put a bunch of pretty pictures up there, okay? Because we all can do that with our phones all day long.
Right.
And that doesn't say to me, oh, this would be nice as a gallery wrap or canvas finish, or put a frame on it. Do something. Show it as a product. Show it as something on a wall or on a table or a beautiful album. Yeah. Show your work that way, so when people look at it, they go, oh, yeah. Because it's our job to inform the consumer. It's our job to tell their story and make them the hero. And that's how we can do it.
Right.
We have to show our work as we want our work sold. And we don't do that, I think. We just throw a bunch of pretty pictures up there and put our logo on it and think, well, they'll understand they should print it. No.
Right.
It's our job.
Absolutely not. They don't.
It's our job, because it's not like it used to be. I mean, for me, like I think about when my first child was born, I could not get to the CVS fast enough to develop the roll of film.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I had no idea what those baby pictures looked like until I could pick up that film.
Right. I remember those days.
I mean,
I do.
now it's instant.
Right.
And so our consumers aren't thinking prints anymore.
Right.
It's our job to become print masters and, printers and become that. We're not just photography. We're print, be a print master, be someone who prints.
And yet we still have grandmas. We still have children.
Yes.
That none of that has changed. It's not going to change. And don't you think that over time, with persistence, if you're in a position where you need to shift that mindset, that with persistence, that gap just gets smaller and smaller, because eventually you'll have a client that even if you had to press them a little bit, like, because sometimes grandma comes along, or sometimes it's, I know I stand back and I watch Vicki make people take photos, especially in big family sessions where they're done.
Right.
And she makes it happen anyway. And I always feel so uncomfortable. I do. I'm just like, oh, lay off. Come on. Leave them wanting more type of thing. But she's really persistent with that. And I feel as though after time, when time passes and things happen and you lose them to college or you lose them to the great beyond, they come back and they say, I'm so thankful. And even if Uncle Frank was angry at the time,
right,
we have it,
right,
we got it.
Exactly, and Vicki does a great job of that. We need to do that, and it's hard and it is uncomfortable, but that's okay. It doesn't have to always be comfortable. We need to get out of that. We got to do the work, brilliant. And it doesn't have to always be comfortable. Yes. That's a lot of things we do aren't comfortable. It's not comfortable to do the right thing a lot of times, but all of us have had these experiences, or you will, as a storyteller, as a photographer.
Yeah.
But my gosh, when you have that client come back because, their kiddo, we had three high school seniors this summer that passed away.
No.
3. 2 car accidents, and unfortunately one was an addiction issue. So. Right. 3 of them, and to have a parent come back and that is one of the most gut-wrenching, most rewarding, most horrible. Either every adjective you can lay, it's all of that.
Yeah.
But can you imagine what that means to that parent? So what we do is amazing, and it needs to live outside of a USB drive or a computer screen. It just has to. It's just there's so much more value to that. Files don't have any value, unfortunately, because they're so readily available in the marketplace. They're on our phones. They're on everything we have. But a portrait or a print, that is valuable.
It's tremendous.
It's a treasure.
We're
you, Jed.
Here we go. Thank you for pulling me out. Thank you for pulling me out.
You're a little treasure.
I wish I was little.
Oh, me too.
It's not the case anymore.
Not you, me. I wish I was little too.
This brightened my whole day.
I'm so glad.
And it was pretty bright to begin with, but because I've had some good talks today, but this was fantastic.
I'm so glad, and I'm so honored you asked me, and I always love hanging out with you, and I usually wear Depends because I know it's going to be that kind of a laugh fest. But honestly, I was too tired to walk back to my room. I'm 3 miles away. I'm going to Uber back.
Okay.
I'm going to Uber back over to
service.
Delta.
Yeah. Yes.
Is there a rickshaw? Hey, if you want to make money in imaging next time we're here, be a rickshaw service. I'm telling you, if that photography thing doesn't work out for you, have a rickshaw.
That's really good advice.
I'm
rickshaw at the Gaylord.
Can you imagine?
I can. That's the funny thing. I can. I got it. I got it, and it works.
Me.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, this was fantastic.
Thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the day. Try to get some rest.
I'm going to try.
My goodness, it's a busy time.
It's a busy time, but it's so fun and exciting. The energy is amazing here.
It is. It is hopping.
Thank you, Jed.
Have a great day.